Hey everyone, it's Karen. So I'm finally going to do the mid-year Freakout Tag. Kelly tagged me from books I'm not reading. She tagged me in this like 25 years ago, I swear. I'm finally doing it. So there are a bunch of questions. So I'm going to be looking down at my computer. But let's do this. First question is your favorite book that you've read, and my favorite book so far is The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. I did a review of that, but this is an amazing book, but it's also like heartbreaking, so make sure you're in the right mood to read it. Question number 2, the best sequel. So I don't really read books in series that often. It's super rare. But one book series I did find this year were the Journals of Madeleine L'Engle. So this is the second book, The Summer of the Great Grandmother, and this deals with just aging family members, dying, caring for loved ones. And yeah, I just have really enjoyed reading her journals over this year. I think I still have one more to go. But then she has a bunch of other nonfiction books too, and I much prefer her nonfiction. Question number 3, new releases that are out but you haven't read yet. And I actually got an arc of Joyce Carol Oates' newest book. It's Night, Sleep, Death, the Stars, and I've started it, but I still have not finished it. I haven't gotten very far into it. It's not that it's not good, I just get distracted by other books, but I definitely want to read that one. Question number 4, most anticipated new release, and that would be the next book in the Gilead series by Marilynne Robinson. I believe it's called Jack, and I will not be able to get it unless the library gets it because I'm not buying books that I have not read. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to wait. Question number 5, biggest disappointment. No surprise, I hate this book. I just felt like Glennon Doyle was showing off and trying to be quoted, and it wasn't that her writing was so good, but that every sentence followed by another sentence that basically just wanted to be a quote. Like you could like make a calendar out of her entire book or something. No, thank you. Okay, number 6, biggest surprise. I would say, I don't have a copy in front of me, but Tim O'Brien's In the Lake of the Woods. I did not think that I would ever read anything by him just because I'm just not really into war stories. Like, it's just not my thing to read about. I care more about what life was like for other people not directly involved in the war. But In the Lake of the Woods was a perfect balance of like what life was like for the main character after the war, with some glimpses into what war was like. And it was a really good mystery, but it wasn't really a mystery, but it was like literary fiction, and it was so good. So that was a surprise that I was able to read something by him and love it, even though I know that everyone loves him and he's an amazing author, and I'm sure his other books are good too. Number 7, favorite new author, I would say Isabel Wilkerson. She wrote Caste, and I really want to read her other book, which I believe is called The Warmth of Other Suns, which is about the migration of African Americans from the South to the North. Number 8 is favorite fictional crush, and let me tell you, I think Brian is right about this. So Brian had this theory that if you sub-vocalize when you read, you are more likely to have a fictional crush than if you do not sub-vocalize when you read, because he feels that you probably are less connected to the characters if you're not like directly hearing their voices in your head or saying what they're saying. And yeah, I do not really ever get I do not really ever get fictional crushes. So, and I also do not sub-vocalize, so he might be right. Okay, question 9 is your newest favorite character, and I would say it was from Emma Straub's newest book, All Adults Here, and the character's name was the character's name was Astrid Strick, and she really reminds me of Olive Kitteridge. So I just adored her. I thought that she had the funniest lines, and she was just this lovely old lady. Loved her. Okay, question 10, a book that made you cry. I'm gonna do a little bit of cheating and go back to some of my other ones I've already mentioned because I just don't want to talk about books that don't really fit the prompt like perfectly, and the book that made me cry was The Nickel Boys. Prompt 11, a book that made me happy, was Emma Straub's All Adults Here. This deals with some very serious themes, but it does it in such a lighthearted way. I don't even know how to describe it. There are so many funny parts that like allowed me to see myself in the way someone else might, that just made me laugh. Like, for example, Astrid, the main character, talks about how I think it was one of her kids eats everything in bowls. Yes, like I eat everything in bowls too. She was talking about like, you know, just like quinoa and and you know, just the putting together in like food into a bowl. So this is just the first sentence of this book to show how this author will say very serious things in a hilarious way. Astrid Strick had never liked Barbara Baker, not for a single day of their 40-year acquaintance. But when Barbara was hit and killed by an empty, speeding school bus at the intersection of Main and Morrison Streets on the eastern side of the town roundabout, Astrid knew that her life had changed, the shock of which was indistinguishable from relief. Okay, question 12 is the most beautiful book that you have received this year. And I don't necessarily know that this is beautiful, but I think the cover is kind of cute. It's You Never Forget Your First by Alexis Coe, and this is the biography of the first president written by a woman, and it would actually be pretty good for our These Truths Readathon for a nonfiction selection, just because she does it in like a pretty hilarious way in some parts, but it's also like tells you a lot about his life. Question 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I need to read some of them that I already own, although these ones are already read, but some from my cart and some from my bedroom closets. Okay, so who am I gonna tag? Here's the thing. This tag has been out for so long, everyone has probably done it, but just to select people, I decided to select whoever commented on my last video, so lucky you guys. I am going to tag the Sampler Girl because I just think her voice is so soothing and she makes the most lovely videos, whether it's about cross-stitching or about books. She's awesome. Secondly, I want to tag Rhina from Rainier Books, and I know I'm saying his name wrong, but I'm gonna work on it. His channel is amazing, and I don't know that he necessarily did this tag already, but he did talk about his favorite books of the year, and that's an awesome video if you want to go watch it. And finally, I'm tagging Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse, which I'm sure he's probably done this already too, but if not, you should do it, and anyone else who hasn't done this yet should do it because it's way fun. If you just watch videos on BookTube but do not have your own channel, please comment below with what your favorite books were for this year so far, and I will see you guys later. Bye.